Hey, welcome back to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so you can easily choose the best watch for yourself in the comfort of your own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online, and if you'd like to know the price, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate if you purchase your next watch from us at JazzTime.com. Today we'll be going over kind of an old watch, a reference number 18239. This is a day-date with white gold all around, white gold bezel, white gold president style bracelet, and also a silver dial with index hour markers with, take a look very closely, there are Roman numerals on that minute and second track at the outer edge. We'll be going over the case, the dial, the bezel, the crown functions, the movement, as well as the bracelet, and I'll be going over my thoughts on the wearing experience for this watch as well. Alright, so going with the case, this is a Day-Date 36. That means 36 millimeters in diameter from finger to thumb, and it's also kind of a pretty good form factor overall. It has the monoblock middle case, all in white gold, as well as the screw down case back and the winding crown. As with every Rolex with this monoblock middle case, you would also have that 100 meter or 330 foot water resistance. All right. Now taking a look at the front of the case, you also have these satin brush finishing on the front of the lugs, sort of matching with the outer end links of the bracelet there. All right, so you have a very good cohesive sense there. Same with the 6 o'clock side, satin brush finishing on the lugs as well, tapering down very tastefully down to the bracelet. All right, now looking at the bezel here, a white gold fluted style bezel, very kind of thin for a 36 millimeter, but that gives you more space on the dial. More on that in a second, but the fluted bezel on this one is still the sort of newer style, meaning that it was originally made for the physical screwing onto the front of the case in order to actually give that water resistance to the front of the case as well as the dial, but technological improvements have made it so that it's kind of unnecessary, but Rolex have decided to keep this fluting for the recognizability. So when you see this fluid bezel, you know that you are dealing with a Rolex, and in this case it's white gold to match that of the case as well as the bracelet. And also, while we're here taking a look at underneath the case, you'll see there's also underneath the lugs there are tiny hallmarks that you can see, so you are indeed dealing with precious metals, in this case white gold. All right, now I can't zoom in that much closer onto them, so you'll have to look at them with your own eyes with a loupe, but believe me, whenever you see those hallmarks underneath the lugs, you know you're dealing with precious metals. Okay, now moving into this dial here, a bit large for a 36, but you know, I have no problems with that. To me, it's all about the case size. More on that in a moment when I get to the wearing experience. But first, looking at this dial, it's actually a very, very nice dial. Probably one of the better dials that I've personally ever seen. Now, granted, the index hour marks are 18 karat white gold, but they're not applied with any luminescence at all. But what is important here is the overall presentation. It has a silvery dial, which in certain types of light actually takes on almost like a tint of gold. So it feels like you're actually getting a little bit more for your money with this sort of dial. A silver sun ray pattern on that dial as well. As you can see as I'm moving it throughout this light box, it has a very attractive looking pattern, and it's extremely readable with the way that these index markers actually are physically placed onto this dial. Very easy to read, even with the shadows and the lighting reflecting off of them. Very easy to read. The 12 o'clock has the day aperture, 3 o'clock has the date aperture, and all around the perimeter of the dial we have the minute or second track, depending on how you want to read it, with Roman numerals. So if you ever somehow forget which, position is which, you can actually still read it, provided you know how to read Roman numerals. All right, so quite useful and a very, very clean overall presentation. I very much like this watch. Right, now the crown functions as you would expect. All right, so before I get there, let me make it so we can actually go through this. All right, so simply unwind the crown to the first position. This allows you to wind the watch. All right, and this is an older model, believe it's from the mid-90s, so you will hear a bit of the winding. Let me see. Yeah, so that's what the winding sounds like. It's not something that you'd want to wind in the dead of night when you're sneaking around like a ninja, but it certainly gets the job done. Pull out to the next position, rotate it clockwise, advances the date aperture at the 3 o'clock position. It's about somewhere between a quarter turn and a half turn to advance the date by 1. So if you find yourself, near the end of the month, say the 30th, well, you're going to have to do 2 separate movements. First, moving the crown in the clockwise position to advance the date, but also to advance the day. Well, a bit. Actually, not really. To advance the day, you simply have to rotate it counterclockwise, and it's about the same throw. So about between a quarter turn and a half turn to advance the day forward at the 12 o'clock position. If you ever need to, it's there. Generally, you just set it once and you can pretty much forget it. Okay, now going back to the crown functions here, pull it out to the final position and note that there's a hacking seconds feature. All right, now this hacking seconds feature allows you to then adjust the minute hand precisely as required for precise time setting. And thankfully you have the outer track there, so you have very good ease of positioning for that minute hand. And so once you have it set, synchronized up to an atomic clock, just press the crown in, wind it tightly against the case to ensure that superior water resistance. Now what allows all of this to work is the Rolex caliper 3155. An old movement at this point, yes, but at the time this was a revolutionary style movement. It has 31 joules, beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour. Nothing new there, but what is new about this one, at least at the time, was that it gave you the instant setting, the rapid setting of the day and the date apertures, as I had just demonstrated. Something that the 3055 caliper, the one which this had superseded, actually did not have. So this is one of the first movements to, in Rolex's catalog at least, to actually feature that quick set date and time feature, or day and date feature. Now I also tested this myself, and it's actually unrestricted rapid date and day settings. So that means you can get pretty close to midnight and still adjust the day and the date. If you happen to be switching time zones right at midnight, you can do so if you so desire. So the option is there without, breaking or damaging the movement. Very, very useful. It also has the free-sprung Niverox hairspring with Breguet overcoil, the Microstella regulated Glucider balance wheel, as well as the Parachrome blue hairspring, which is to say that it is anti-magnetic. It takes some bump resistance. Don't go too hard on this. Chances are when you're wearing a watch like this, you're probably not going to be mountain biking, for example. You're probably not going to be off-roading. You're more likely going to be going to a very important meeting or an important function, probably where you won't be doing too much physical activity. But should it require it, the bracelet will help you out there. But also, while we're still on the movement, it allows for that quick set day and date feature, and it is also COSC certified, meaning that it is within that -4 + 6 second per day time differential. But Rolex decides to take it a step further, or a few steps further actually, to keep it within ±2 seconds per day. Extremely, extremely accurate. And we've had this watch for a bit, and I've actually noticed that it does keep time exceptionally well. So even since the 90s, this has been running very, very smoothly. All right. And also keep in mind that all of this together gives you 48 hours of power reserve. Pretty impressive for a watch of this type with all of these functions and complications. 48-hour power reserve, nothing to shake a stick at, because even though I have actually, I've been monitoring this watch very closely myself, and I know that I can actually set it down for about 48 hours. I can pick it up later and it will still keep going. So they say it's 48 hours. It might actually be more than that, but your mileage may vary depending on which model you get, and the model that you get will be, distinct to you. It'll be yours. So anyway, onto the bracelet here. Now, when I was saying that you can actually be relatively active with this bracelet, I mean it, because this is the President style bracelet, polished down the center, the outer links being satin brush finished, also satin brush finishing on the outer edges there. All right, now the President style bracelet combines the best of both worlds, the Oyster style as well as the Jubilee style. The Oyster style has that strength, the three-piece links across, with the Jubilee style being, the half rounded or the semicircular links, giving it a very, very nice, supple, very soft feel. And I've had this on my wrist for about a day myself, and I did not even notice it that it was on there, because the breathability among all of these links makes it extremely comfortable, and they're actually far enough apart that there's no pinching of skin or even removal of arm hairs. Well, granted, I don't have much arm hair to speak of, but more on that in a moment. Okay, now moving down to the concealed folding crown clasp. It works as you would expect. Simply lift the top of the crown. Actually, this one's a little bit different because this is an older style model. You can still lift the top of the crown, but it may or may not work as nicely. So what works for me is getting my finger underneath the folding clasp there and pulling it out. All right, so you have that added stability of holding on to the clasp itself as you pull it out. Now, note that this is not the hook and beak style system. It's simply a plus and minus sort of type of system where you have a hole and a big plug that just sort of plugs in there. I haven't had any issues with it. Other than that, it's hard to tell when it's actually closed sometimes, so you'll have to give it a couple very light tugs just to make sure that it is indeed closed. All right, now actually while I'm here, I'll give you some of my thoughts as to how it wears on the wrist. Now, granted, this model in particular is a pre-owned model, so some of the links are missing, and it fits on my wrist actually perfectly. And if you know me from my videos, I love the 36mm style cases. They fit me just right. I get a very good ratio of case to bracelet or bracelet to case, depending on how you measure your ratios. All right, and it's a very easy to read watch. While this dial is rather large for a 36 on, say, a Day-Date, I'm getting lots of readability. It's extremely useful in that aspect. Very, very good when it comes to function, and a very good sense of wrist presence when it comes to the overall shine, the luster that you get from both the fluted bezel as well as this, the rounded links of this President style bracelet. All right, looking closer at the wrist, it hugs my wrist very nicely with a very nice, tasteful taper of these lugs. They don't hug the wrist or dig into my wrist. They rest perfectly on there. All right, so I don't need that extra flaring out underneath these lugs because the President style bracelet gives me plenty of breathability all the way around. I haven't felt any sweat accumulate on my wrist, no pinching of my skin, nothing of that sort, no discomfort at all. And overall, when it comes to the wearing experience, it's not exactly the lightest case. Again, it's all white gold, so kind of heavy. And with the counterbalance of the bracelet against the case, not quite as much as the case, so if I'm swinging my arm around, I do feel the case, so the center of gravity is a little bit above the center of the wrist. So keep that in mind. All right, so overall my personal experience with this watch has been positive. I haven't had any issues with this, and it's a very nice watch, minus, the fact that it's sometimes a little hard to tell when the clasp is completely closed. But such a small gripe for something that, can really be adjusted in just a couple seconds. Anyway, enough of what I think. What do you think about this watch? Let us know down in the comments below if you would be interested in something like this. A very, very old Day-Date, but it's still working just fine. This is over 25 years old. Now, this watch, I believe, is from the mid-90s, so yeah, that is over 25 years old as of the making of this video. So, it's been running just fine. I haven't had to take it in to get it serviced or anything. And, it is up for sale on our website, jazztime.com. Be sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we go live with another video. And if you like this watch, buy it from our site, jazztime.com. Links in the description below. And if you want anything like this, similar, used, new, or even discontinued, let us know down below on our website, jazztime.com. Links in the description below, and we'll see you in the next one.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.